Hi guys, welcome to my first episode of Super Sicilian Tournament Traps, where we are going to witness some high profile traps which you can use in the tournament practice as a complete surprise weapon. In today's lecture, we are going to look at the Dragon mainline, and the critical position arises after the following opening move order: e4, c5, knight to f3, d6, d4, c captures d4, knight captures d4, knight to f6, knight to c3, and now the trademark dragon move g6. Okay, the main line continues with bishop to e3, bishop to g7, f3, black castles on the king side, and here we have a parting of the way. The old main lines start with bishop to c4. However, nowadays it has been completely vanished, and at GM level, white is exclusively playing the move queen to d2, where the idea is very obvious: castle on the queen side and become hell loose on the king side. Okay, so let's see how black is going to counter this. Knight to c6, castle on the queen side. And in my dirty chess tricks against Sicilian part 18, I have shown why d5 is not a good move here. So instead of this, I recommend you should start with bishop to d7, and after g4, continue with rook to c8. Well, more or less white don't bother about black move order, so he continues his assault on the king side with h4, and after our knight to e5, what else but h5 touching down the black side. Now pay the attention as black plays queen to a5, and we have reached to the most critical position of the dragon main line. Just stop for a moment and look at the database. King b1 has been highestly played here, and the reason is very obvious. In some lines, black might threaten rook capture c3 and then take on a2, something which white has to look out all the time. So the answer is very obvious. Why not play king to b1 and diffuse all the black threat so that white can continue on the king side assault? And at first sight it looks pretty good, except one problem, that white has straight away fallen into one of the most high profile trap in the dragon main line. Now before I move on, I like you to pause this video and find out a killer move here which completely bamboozle the white camp. Are you ready? Did you find this amazing shot? Knight takes f3. What a move! Well, to be honest, first time when I have seen this move, I thought, hang on, what is going on? Black is giving up the piece for what? Well, that is you are going to witness soon. Here white has no choice, he has to take this knight. And after this, it doesn't look like black has anything going on except grabbing some pawns. But if you are amazed by black's last move, you will be absolutely thrilled by black's next dazzling reply. Just look at this, guys. Rook captures c3. Boom! Another super dazzling sacrifice. And I'm sure if white has seen this position first time, he is really going to scratching his head wondering what's going on. Okay, so the first thing first, let me turn on the database, and the obvious question you are asking is, why can't white take this rook with the queen, as he is a clear rook up? And surprisingly enough, black is exchanging the queen. And after this, it doesn't look like black shouldn't continue the game. But chess is sometimes a very funny game. And after black's next reply, that is bishop captures g4, now you will see the potential of this line. We have some forcing moves as the f3 knight is hanging. So by far the most popular choice is bishop to e2, defending the knight. And after this, yet another pawn goes down to the drain with knight captures e4. And don't forget, this move comes with a threat, that is knight captures c3, something which white need to address immediately. When first time I analyzed this position, I was really shocked that if you look at the database, bishop to d4 has been highestly played here. But in fact, this is the big time blunder by white, as just one move, e5, and white is completely losing. The majority of the games in the database continues with bishop takes a7, but after the killer sequence, knight to c3 check, king to c1, knight takes e2 check, king to d2, and finally, when black grabbed the knight, if you count the material, suddenly black has 3 pawns and 2 minor pieces against a lonely rook, which is obviously close to winning advantage for the black. Okay, so let's look at some serious approach to defend this threat. The second move I want to consider is rook to d3, and white's idea is after knight captures c3, he want to sack the exchange to remove that threat. But look at the final position after bishop takes c3, pawn takes g6, and h captures g6. If you count the material, black has 4 connected pass pawn for a piece, which is obviously in terms of practical play a huge advantage. And if you look at the database here, the majority of the games favors the black. So this is what we are going to achieve if white played accurately up till the 20th move of the game. Last but not least, probably the most accurate response is bishop to d2, defending the threat, and white's idea is that you cannot play knight to f2 as rook to g1 is a very strong reply. Okay, so that means black response is forced. He has to take on c3 with the bishop. And after this, the forcing accurate sequence continue with bishop to h6, counter-attacking the black rook. Now, I really don't like what black has been playing so far, that is rook to c8. I think after this, white obtain a slightly better position. So rather than going for the bad move, I strongly insist you should continue with bishop to f6, where yes, you are ready to sacrifice your rook, but you have also your own threats going on. First of all, let's see what happens if white accept the rook, which I think already a bad move, because after knight to c3, king to c1, knight takes e2, king to d2, and bishop to f3, we more or less get same kind of idea, that is bishop to h6, knight to c3 attacking both the rook, and when white save one of them, we can simply chop it off. And at the end result, if you count the material, this time around we have again the same scenario, 4 pawns against a single piece, and most importantly, if you look at the engine evolution, it clearly favors the black. Last but not least, white can also decline our rook offer and continue with rook to d3, which is in fact happen in very high profile FIDE games, where after this black simply played rook to c8 and get a winning advantage. In fact, the game finished very quickly. Knight to d2 has been played. Black played bishop to f5, and in the view of double threat, white decided to sack the exchange with knight takes e4, bishop takes e4, rook to e1, but after bishop takes, rook takes, b6, and when white exchanged the pawn at the g6, once again if you count the material, we have 4 pawn advantage against the lonely bishop, and I can definitely assure you, in terms of practical point of view, this is huge for black, as only chess engine can defend such a situation from the white. That's it guys, I hope you enjoy and learn this high profile trap in the Dragon mainline. Remember, when your opponent played the most popular move, king to b1, give him this double shock. First, knight captures f3, and then this lovely rook sacrifice, which even though exchanged the queen, the end result after bishop g4, bishop e2 and knight captures e4 clearly favors the black. There are a bunch of title players has fallen for this trap, so you can literally use it as a complete surprise weapon in your tournament practice. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to like, subscribe and comment, and I will see you in my next episode very soon. Bye and take care.